Hey Internet, Eric here. Well, it's Slashback Saturday again. I did one of these last week, and I've done a lot of these before. If you don't know what that is, my buddy Joe, the horror man, every week what he has is he picks a certain category, and what you do is every Saturday you find a slasher movie that fits into said category and make a video about it. It's super simple. This week's is a return from last year. It is my iPad squeaking. This week's is a return from last year, theme wise. It's 80s slashers. This one is a lot of fun. Last year, basically, the plot is any slasher movie that was released in the 80s. This was a fun one because last year, for this, I did The Prowler. And I wanted to pick an 80s slasher that I had never seen. Um, and of course, it being the 80s, there was basically one or two or five coming out every month in the 80s. So I wanted to do the same thing where I picked something from the 80s that a lot of people have discussed, but I've never seen. So this week for Slashback Saturday, I picked another one that a lot of people seem to at least talk about. I picked 1981's Hell Night. There you go. Starring Linda Blair. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot, spoilers, specific scenes, all that stuff. Hell Night. Okay, basic plot is we're following Linda Blair and a group of college students, I'm assuming, because it's pledge night, Hell Night, what have you, and some sorority girls and some fraternity guys. And they are told to be able to get into the fraternity, they have to spend the night in this specific house. And what happened in this house is, you know that you've seen the cliche the 100 times. Man goes crazy and kills his family. But this story is a man and a wife kept trying to have children, and the children always came out like deformed or mentally retarded, or there's something physically or mentally or both wrong with these kids. And what happened was the man finally lost it, killed his wife, killed three of the four children, and then hung himself. And so that's the ghost story. You got the kids, the fraternity kids sleeping in the house, and you have the head of the fraternity trying to play pranks on them to scare them, to get them to run out and fail. But you find out that the one surviving kid is still there, causing havoc and killing people. Um, I had a lot of fun with this one. I didn't think I would because most of the stuff I've heard about this one was negative. It does have its like cult following because a lot of people were excited that Hell Night finally came out to Scream Factory, being released. But I had a lot of fun and a lot of other than like that little, blurb of hey everybody, Scream Factory is releasing Hell Night and people are excited. I've mostly heard negative stuff. First off, character wise, nothing special. Linda Blair's fine. She does real well as a final girl, but she's okay. She's there to look cute. Um, she's not overly damsel in distress type of girl until the end. They do a good job of making her smart because they do throw in a line that her dad was a mechanic, so she knows how to fix cars, which comes into play later. But she does fine. The other characters, you got I think she's British because she got an accent. She's the sex pot, drunken drug user. She's fine. And the only other people that I can think of are the two male leads. You have the dark haired one. I mean, their names don't matter. The dark haired one who I recognized from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. He's the kid in that movie where he's the one that's killed in the shower. His Jason grabs him by the face and like forces his head through the wall. He's okay, nothing special. He's just there to be the guy who has the hots for Linda Blair and tries to get with her. And then you have the blonde, who is actually kind of fun. Um, he's the comic relief. He's the one that tries to hook up with with the British chick or however you want to call it. And I think I liked him a lot. He was a lot of fun. So overall, characters are fine. I like the atmosphere of this movie. It is like the perfect type of movie, like cheesy horror movies to watch at Halloween time because they're in this old mansion, and it's great because they have to walk around with candles. There are cobwebs everywhere. It's just it has this real old feel, like an old Vincent Price castle movie. You know what I mean? So I love this set, and we do find out early on as like the group of fraternity people that are trying to play the pranks. One of the girls falls in like a hole on the outside, so you find out that there are underground caverns under this house, and I like the look of that. It feels very claustrophobic. It reminded me kind of like of the mines in My Bloody Valentine, or even like the underground tunnels in the Friday the 13th remake. So I like the look of the house. I like the look of the underground tunnel. So the movie looks really good. Um, Even like the gates, the old gates, like, I'm gonna blind you with the glare again, but the gates that are in the poster that they can't get away. Yeah, fuck that. They can't get out of. There's a really cool scene with the gate where one of the kids tries to climb over and he slips and he gets impaled a little bit with the pointy metal rod at the top. So the look of this film is really really good. The gore, it's not overly excessively gory at all. We get some of it's kind of a disappointment. We get um, we get a decapitation with an axe that's blink and you miss it. Like literally, one of the girls is she screams. You get like a camera's like on her face, and the axe swings through, and literally, whoosh, and then boom, it's gone. Head doesn't fall off, no blood spurt or nothing. So it literally is blink and you miss it. I had to rewind it because I blinked and I missed it. We get a really cool head head turned all the way around, neck snap. We do get one impalement with a sickle or a scythe, the thing that the Grim Reaper has. Goes through a guy, and you have the shot of obviously of it coming out of, I think it's a wall or he's against a bush or something because he's outside, and you have it covered in blood and dripping. So overly not gory at all. Um, what else? My disappointments in this, not too much. I mean, I do like. Okay, my major disappointment in this, and it's more of a confusion type of thing, is it's this great scene where the leader of the fraternity, the guy who's going to play the pranks, he's telling the story of this man and his wife and the deformed children they have. And I found it funny because, this is 1981, it's totally not PC, so he's using totally non PC ways to describe these kids. And he basically said, if in the comments below, if anyone's seen this, correct me or help explain to me this. The man and the wife had 4 children, and when the man went psycho, he killed the wife. Either he killed the wife or she died. I don't remember. But the wife is gone, and then he killed 3 of the 4 children, and then hung himself. So my major problem is you find out there's 2 killers in this film. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the look of the main killer, I guess. He's supposed to be the son that's still roaming around the grounds, the one that's killing. Looks like a mixture to me. Like he looks kind of like the Wolfman in like the 19 was it early 40s or late 30s. The one with Lon Chaney Jr. Like first stage of transformation. So he's got like the fuzz down here, but he's like missing part of his hair here. So he looks kind of like a mixture of that Wolfman and like a Frankenstein monster I know I've seen somewhere. Maybe it's the Randy Quaid one from the TNT movie, or he looks kind of like that. I don't know. So I liked his look. He looks like a gigantic caveman, like Cro-Magnon man, minus like the beard and stuff like that. He looks like I don't know, Sasquatch. He's huge. He's overpowering. He's incredibly huge, and I like that because he's very scary, especially. We'll get to it. Let me finish what I'm saying. So we got him, but then there's another killer we find out, and he looks like he's got the long hair and the long beard, the long hair, and I don't know who the hell he's supposed to be. He's taken out with a shotgun in a really cool scene. He's fighting the blonde dude, who has just like he's going from place to place. I love this scene. The blonde guy is going from place to place, telling people, "Hey, there's some murders happening. One car drives away. He gets to the police station. He says, so murders are happening. They find out he's part of this fraternity, and they're like, okay, you tell that asshole, no more pranks, because obviously this has happened before. So it's one of those, hey, boy cried wolf type of stories. So he gets some guns, and he ends up taking out this killer number two, who I just called a homeless guy. I don't know if he was just like a homeless guy that had been living in the house or what have you. So he takes him out in a really cool scene with a shotgun, but I don't know who the hell this guy is, because we even come across that character's body later as Linda Blair is running away. So I just wish I knew who the hell he was. It was very confusing. It would have been cool or better or made more sense if it was just a surviving kid, you know what I mean, from the story, who turns out to be this big, like, Sasquatch type character. Yeah. But going back, I really liked this killer, the main one, because he's terrifying. He runs, okay? He's not this silent, walking killer like Michael Myers or like later versions of Jason Voorhees. This motherfucker runs after you, and he's terrifying. There's a really cool scene where the blonde chick, the British chick, she's laying in bed, she's sleeping. I don't know if she's just waiting for like the blonde dude to come back and bang her. But it's just really cool shot of him looking at her, and it's from behind him, and you just see how big he really is. So this man or this thing can do some damage. And then I love before, it's like the scene or the sequence, the chase sequence where Friday the 13th kid gets killed, and then him and Linda Blair are running, through the house, and this guy is running after them. They're going up the stairs, and you have this shot going down the stairs, and all you do is see this huge body in the dark chasing after him. That's terrifying. It's back like when Jason used to run, in parts like 2, 3, and 4. Terrifying. And then when you finally see this dude, they shut the door and they like latch it shut, with a bar. He busts through the door and he tears the wood off, and he is horrifying to look at. And he takes out, Friday the 13th kid in kind of a disappointing way. Like, I like the idea. He literally just lifts him up and tosses him out the window. The edit looks really bad. Like, you can tell it's a dummy, and it just doesn't fit with the way he throws the kid out the window. But this creature is terrifying to look at, and just to imagine how this thing would be chasing you. So I like that. I like the score isn't very memorable, but I do like the score during the final scene with Linda Blair trying to get away from this creature. And she's in the car, and her mechanic skills come through because, she couldn't get it to start. So she throws open the hood, does her thing, sparks, goes back, turns the key on the ignition, and she backs up, and she crushes. She goes in reverse. She hits the gate, and she's stuck. And just the score is perfect with the intensity of the scene, and it's so good. And I like how the killer is taken out. I won't spoil it, but that's where you see the most blood in this movie. It's believable. It's not too over the top. It's one of those, she got him type of things. Really liked it. Linda Blair, like I said, she wasn't overly great, but when she's the final girl, she's really good. So yeah, overall, I had a lot of fun with Hell Night. That glare sucks. Anyways, fuck it. I really, really liked Hell Night. Had a lot of fun with it. Not too much complete. It's not a great movie with the way it was made, but it's a fun movie, and that's what really matters to me. This is definitely going to go in like my rotation around Halloween time. It's a fun, where you think it's like maybe a spooky ghost story, and then turns out to be a slasher movie. Even though there's 2 killers, and I wish I knew who the fucking homeless looking one was. But highly recommend Hell Night. Had a lot of fun. So that's it for Slashback Saturday. Joe, can't wait for next week. That's going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of, anyone watching this, if you're new to YouTube, you found my channel, check out The Horror Man. I'll put his link in the description below. and participate in Slashback Saturday. It's a lot of fun. It's open to anyone. Highly recommend doing this. I try to do it as much as I can. So, and also I want to say congrats to Joe and Jason and even Bronco for your 1 year anniversary of the Slashback or the Super Slash Bros. Every Friday they have a live stream. I go to the chat as much as I can when I'm not helping other people's podcasts or stuff like that. I've been a guest once. I think it was when Jason was having his surgery, and they asked me to fill in, and it's a lot of fun. But I'm always trying to be in the chat, so I will say congrats to you guys for 1 year as the Slash Brothers. But anyways, like and subscribe, click the bell, comment below, tell me who the fuck this second dude was. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy Slashback.